Sledhead 24/7 is brought to you by Speedworks, home of straight-up USA horsepower. By Motor Fist, rugged by design.
Well, there's no question about it that all Sledhead riders are looking for the best ride possible on as little amount of money spent as possible.
There's no question. I've got kids in college, young kids, and I know how expensive it is for snowmobiles. You get great technology, but there's also a price tag.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can get some of these sleds now, you can get into pretty reasonable. For a new rider going in to buy some of these bigger sleds, it's expensive. These are a budget sled.
Absolutely. Well, here are some rides for your best bang for your buck.
The entry-level category is a new category we're having this year because there's so many people that are beginner riders or have never ridden a snowmobile and don't know what to buy. And let's face it, 12 grand to throw it for a snowmobile is a lot of cabbage. So you have options. You have smaller engines, you have a little less frills and features, but some of them have incredible chassis and performance, and we're gonna see those next.
The first sled in our evaluation is the Polaris IQ 550 Shift.
You know, when I first got on it, my first impression is what Polaris is noted for, performance and handling. Had a good engine, it was a 550 fan. In my opinion, it's a little bit underpowered, but remember, this is an entry-level snowmobile.
Motor down a little bit compared to the other ones, but that isn't what their machine is. They want a smooth snowmobile.
Had a great suspension on it. What I liked was the handling. There again, it wasn't really super tight. It didn't glue down like a slot car in tracks, but for a beginner, it's gonna give you that feeling of confidence.
Anybody who's starting out, I'd put on that sled, just because it's just controllable, easy to drive. It builds confidence. It drives so easy.
When you turn the bars, it's very positive. It's going to turn, not oversteer, not understeer. It's not real aggressive to where you're going to get arm pump, where your arms get sore. Remember, it's entry level. We want it to be user-friendly. The only drawback I see on it was the 550 fan. It didn't make quite enough power, so I feel that you'd outgrow that snowmobile fairly quickly.
The next entry-level sled is the Yamaha Phaser RTX.
That thing was tricked. First thing when I got on it that I thought about was, wow, does this thing have bottom end power? They have refined that thing to the point where it corners so well. It rivals the top-of-the-line snowmobiles that cost half again as much.
You want to just point the thing and you want to jump it off stuff. It's just a fun little, quick little sled to ride. Yeah, definitely the fun factor. This thing's a blast. You're going to get mileage. You don't have, it's a four-stroke. I mean, in a small sled like that, to have a four-stroke motor, not have to put injection oil in it, yeah, that's a plus. That's a definite plus. The suspension felt good in the corners. It didn't push. It felt like I was on a little slot car. It was just a blast to drive.
The most aggressive entry-level sled is the Arctic Cat Snow Pro 500.
Boy, now there is a snowmobile at entry-level price with all the big buck features. Remember, that's basically a snowcross chassis with the 500 liquid motor in it. So we talk about all the things that make an entry-level snowmobile great. Price point, right. A good chassis, this is a great chassis. A good engine, this is a great engine. And handling, this is what Tucker Hibbert used to race in snowcross. For all those young kids that say, I want to be like Tucker. I want to go out and I want to race snowcross. This is a snowmobile you could buy, go to a snowcross race, and it would be competitive right out of the box.
For an entry-level snowmobile, the Snow Pro 500 was fantastic. You got to remember, we here at Sledhead 24/7, we run things a little harder than most, and this thing handled the abuse we put it through as well as any of the bigger sleds.
The reason why I like the Arctic Cat Snow Pro 500 the best is because of the chassis. You're not going to outgrow that chassis. I mean, it's good for a guy like me that I'm a very advanced rider, and I find myself not lacking anything, not in handling, not in braking. The one thing it lacks a little bit for a guy my size is the engine. And voila, there's so many companies out there like Speedworks or other Arctic Cat companies that have kits for them. So when you outgrow the power, just give them a call, boost the power up to 100 horse, 120 horse kits. The suspension, the chassis, the handling, it's all going to blend together perfectly. When you outgrow the snowmobile, you really don't outgrow it to the point where you have to buy a new one. All you need is a little engine mod.
Don't let the high sticker prices scare you away from buying a new machine. Every manufacturer produces a sled for you. Get into your local dealership and see how easy it can be to ride in a budget.
That's right, and if any of you guys at home have more tips for how to ride more for less, send them our way.
We're always looking for new ideas. We have most of the answers, but not every single one.
That's right, so send them to our website.
At sledhead24-7.com. Well, that does it for this edition of Sledhead 24/7. On behalf of all of us here at Sledhead, thanks so much for watching, especially to our sponsors. We're going to go check out the Bristow's counter. We'll see you next time.
Next week on Sledhead 24/7. The world's greatest snowcross racers are on the line as the green flag flies on the Amsoil Championship Snowcross Series. Will Tucker Hibbert repeat as champion? Is this Ross Martin's year to win it all? Is Levi LaValle making a comeback? Tim Tremblay and Robbie Malinowski are also in the mix, and the only thing that's certain is that the battle for the top of the podium will be fought to the end. And we'll start another classic build at Speedworks. If you thought the new Articats were tricked, wait till you see what Speedworks has planned for the all-new Pro Cross and Pro Climb sleds. Join us for those stories and more next week on Sledhead 24/7.